podcast. Seems like a big celebration today. Woo-hoo. So I'm so excited to be hanging out with you today. We've got folks from around North America joining us today, and all of them have stepped up to be advocates for climate action in all the other things that they're doing, but they're also helping spread the word about our 2020 International Climate Action Challenge Impact Summit, which is coming up December 13th to 17th. So that is a free summit where we're going to be featuring what our top challengers did in 90 days. And you guys, it is so exciting. We have people that have planted thousands of trees, like that's one team. People that have done thousands of voter outreach contacts, again, single teams, and you multiply that by 10 and 20, it's really fun. So we're doing the interviews now, getting those all set up for you. We've got live workshops, Zoom happy hours, so you can chat with each other. And on our last day on the 17th, we'll be diving into how you could plan a challenge for your community. We have someone who's teaching it as a university class, the idea of using it for your neighborhood, your faith community, your business. So all kinds of ways to go from this idea of action to actually empowering your whole community to transform. So we're super excited about that whole thing. And so we are just going to kind of go one by one and give each of you folks that have been doing work in your communities, climate reality chapters, and the Calgary Climate Hub, a chance to tell us what it is that you've been doing. Because, you know, Climate Reality is such a cool organization, something started by Al Gore, where we've all that are on here have gone through these trainings to become a climate reality leader and be able to, we know the science, we know how important it is, and you marry that to doing a climate action challenge, you can really make a big impact fast, and doing all the other stuff that you guys have already been doing. So I'm going to start with Kat, who is my neighbor up the road from me in Colorado. And so welcome, Kat. And I'm gonna, let's see, give me a second. I'm gonna try and make some space here, and then we'll bring everybody on one by one. Whoopsie daisy. Okay, did that a little too aggressively. But hi, Kat. Good morning.
Hello, it's so good to be with you, Joan, and the International Climate Action Challenge.
Yeah, so exciting. So I'm just going to give you the stage if you want to take a few minutes, like 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, and just tell us what all the Eagle County chapter has been doing.
Yeah.
And
we're new, the Climate Reality Leader chapter of Eagle County, Colorado. Is just a couple of hours farther west on I-70 from Joan. And we're babies. We're just a year old. And my mentee actually started the chapter. And we have been focusing on communications for a no idling campaign. I-70 runs right through the heart of Eagle County. And so we realized that reducing idling and our transportation emissions would be a very big win. We do have many very effective environmental organizations already in the Valley. So we're having to navigate and find out what it is for us to do and for us to be. We've also hosted 29 conversations online on Wednesdays and Sunday suppers on climate change called Pause Countdown. COVID acts, climate acts, and local impacts. So we've taken youth, elders, experts, NGOs, CEO leaders from several different sectors, ranging from food, technology, women health, mental health, ideas, art, stories, flight, and assembled these conversations where people who would not normally be in conversation with each other could really hear the reality of each other. And we're in the process of editing those right now. Walking Mountains is a very effective environmental education organization that's in the schools here in Eagle County. And they're hosting a climate action collaborative, which assembles all of the environmental organizations in our community. So we support that. We have also testified at many legislative hearings, and Colorado has some really big wins as far as methane and air quality are concerned. And next year we'll have another big legislative agenda. So that's it for us. And thank you so much for doing what you're doing, Joan. Such important work.
Yeah. Thank you so much as well. And Kat has been one of our mentors and given a platform for some of our other folks in our challenge to give their message, whether it's somebody in Zambia or elsewhere in the U.S. So the collaboration is really where it's at. And I'm putting that note in. I put some notes in the feed there. So the link to their Facebook, the Eagle County Facebook group, and some of their campaigns that Kat just mentioned. So in the end, we might have a few moments to head back for questions. If anybody that's listening has any questions, definitely put them in the chat and we'll try to get to them later as well. Okay, all right, so let's move on. Thank you so much. And see if I can do this right. All right, how about Darshana? Would you like to go next? It's great. I didn't tell people what order, so it's kind of like a game show. But yeah, welcome, Darshana. I just met the other day because one of our challengers is in San Antonio. This is Irasu Aranda, and her challenge was to come up with some kind of circular economy business. And if you attend the challenge, you'll get to hear their interview. They are taking mattresses, which are really hard to recycle, and upcycling them into pet beds. And they're Remat Pet. They have the cutest pictures on Instagram of dogs and cats. But anyhow, so welcome, Darshana, and yeah, please take a few minutes to tell us about your chapter.
Thank you, and good morning, all. And thank you for inviting Joanne. This is a great opportunity. I am so glad to be here. My chapter is also very new. I moved from New Jersey here and saw the lack of kind of leadership in creating awareness among San Antonians. So I started this chapter here, and with I think 5 people only, but now we have 70 members, and they are all types of people. They are very professionals, and most of them are climate reality leaders. Especially when we had a global training, July and August, I got more members. So that's for the chapter, and we are meeting monthly. We are our main focus is on creating awareness. So when we had 24 hours of reality, many members gave presentations to audience from 10 to 100. So it was a big awareness among the community. So that was one. The second one was planting trees. So on same day we had a part of green initiative in University of Incarnate Word. We planted ceremonial tree, and we invited our mayor who believes in this compassionate tree project. So he was there. San Antonio is by the way is like announced as a compassionate city. So we planted that was the beginning of the tree planting, and then our various members also planted at various places. And monarch butterflies is very essential in this part of the world. So they always come while they migrate to Mexico from north to south when they go. So they drop by in San Antonio. So there are many pollinator gardens, and we did that day also. So that was the beginning of our tree planting, and so far we've planted more than 1,500 trees around the San Antonio. So that was another thing. And our next project is plastic free. That's our campaign for next year. That's what we are going to focus. So we are. It's getting moving slowly. People are getting excited, and they are. And we always invite guest speaker in our monthly meeting to educate people in their field. So that's how it happens. So this is about it, about our for San Antonio chapter.
And Darshana, you said that your group grew from 5 members to 70. When did you say your chapter started?
Hello. Yeah. So yeah,
When-
I'm very excited.
When did your chapter start?
Our chapter started in March 2000 of this year, so it's pretty new.
That's amazing. So you grew from
Yeah.
5 to 70 because you took that first step. Because
Yes.
you started it. Yeah.
Yeah, I founded the chapter with my husband. He's also co-chair, and he's into this thing. So he has a much more experience in this type of work. So he is my co-chair, and he's helping me always. So and now we have so many. And Irozu is our administrative assistant, so she's doing great work. We always do the newsletter too every monthly. So she's the one who is doing the newsletter work. So we are getting there.
Beautiful. All right. Okay. Well, thank you. Well, great. I mean, she just illustrated that idea that the #1 climate action is start a team. And so if you're part of Climate Reality or Citizens Climate Lobby or something, start a chapter and look at all the stuff that they're doing. The Compassionate City, Compassionate Tree Project, pollinator plantings. I said plastic trees. It's supposed to be plastic free. But yeah, how cool is that? That is awesome. All right. So how about Emmy from Atlanta? Are you down with going next?
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm so happy to have found you guys. So Malika and I have worked together a long time in Newark, Delaware, and Kat in Eagle County, but I think we found you on Instagram and was like, "Hey, do you want to promote climate action with us?" And you stepped up and said yes, and we just so appreciate you doing that. And the more we heard about the Atlanta chapter, the more we understood that you guys are movers and shakers and somebody we can all learn from. So take it away.
Thanks. Yeah, and thanks for that great introduction. And I'll just preface by saying that there's a little bit of construction happening outside. So if you hear some banging, that's me, but I'll stop in a few minutes and you'll get your quiet back. But so the Atlanta chapter is also pretty new, not as new as San Antonio. We started in 2018, actually, at the Los Angeles Climate Reality Training. There was a group, I think, of about 8 climate reality leaders from Atlanta who were sat together at the LA training, and they got to talking and realized that Atlanta didn't have a chapter. So the 8 of them got together and created the chapter in mid-2018. And I joined about late 2018. And at that point, we were still 20 people meeting in somebody's apartment building once a month. And then we found out that the next climate reality training was going to be in Atlanta in March. So then we really had to step up our game and build the internal infrastructure to take all of the new members we'd be getting. And that happened in March 2019. And so we went from about 20 members to, we have about 300 people actually registered and involved in the chapter, and probably about 40 to 50 that are actively involved on a monthly basis. But so we've done a lot of growing in the last year and a half as well. And I got involved colleague told me about it. And since late 2018, I've been the communications director for the chapter, and I help run a bunch of our initiatives and campaigns online, range from a variety of activities, from getting out the vote to tree planting for a variety of organizations. We partner with a lot of other local organizations in the area. And so I don't know, picking our biggest achievement so far is so hard to choose, because you can't fully see the impact of all of the different activities that you do. There's, all of those little intangible impacts along the way. But I think one of the biggest case studies that we have is at the Atlanta training in March. We organized a writing campaign with the National Climate Reality Organization, and we wrote about 1,000 letters, I think, to the Public Service Commission about Georgia Power's integrated resource plan, where they were proposing basically their resource mix for what the utility will use for the next 20 years. And we think we got them to increase from 500 megawatts of solar to 1,000 megawatts. I mean, we don't know how much we had an impact on that as opposed to other actors, but that was definitely a big win for us. And we are building on that this year. In a couple of weeks, on December 15th, we're going to host a climate change town hall with the 2 candidates for Public Service Commission District 4, Bubba McDonald and Daniel Blackman, who are going to a runoff. And that runoff election is going to be held on the same day as the Georgia Senate runoffs. So that'll be January 5th. So tune in to that. I'll send a link to this group. And yeah, we look forward to making Georgia a bigger player on the national and international stage. For 2021, we're looking at building more connections among community partners and helping leverage those connections to make policy changes at the state and federal levels. Our co-chair, Jairo Garcia, is actually working with Al Gore. He's going to be the master of ceremonies for the initiative that they launch next week on the 7th. Yeah, so stay tuned for that, on building this collaborative process between the local organizations and state and federal organizations. So yeah, we're very excited about that.
Nice. Well, yeah, and any of those links that you want to put in the chat, feel free to do that. That would be great too. I'm learning so much as I listen to each of you. And I think this is what, well, it's kind of the meta thing, because what I'm learning is all about all the different collaboration that you're doing. And as we're collaborating right now instantly, this is what always happens, is that even right in the moment, getting those different ideas, like having a climate change town hall, doing the voter outreach, writing letters, and pollinator planting, everything that we've already heard so far are things that each of our groups could all be doing, for sure, to make a difference. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Emmy. All right. Okay. So how about Malika? Are you ready? Let's see. You were born ready.
Yes.
All right. So Malika, I was doing a webinar called Passion to Action, and she was just like, boom, this is me. The more I know her, the more I know she is the passion to action person that you want on your team and in your life, because that's what she does. And Malika wears a lot of different hats, including a crown as Elite Miss Delaware Earth. She's also lead of the Newark Delaware Climate Reality Chapter. And has her own nonprofit called the Global Ripple Effect Project. But Malika, do you want to talk with us about, and also Malika was one of the first, Malika and Kat were the first couple of chapters that stood up and said, heck yeah, we want to be part of this Climate Action Challenge. So I appreciate you doing that and making that connection. So yeah, Malika, do you want to take a few minutes and tell us what your chapter has been doing?
Yes. So our biggest accomplishment was when we found out the Paris Agreement might not be something the US was signing on. Climate Reality reached out to me directly, and they were like, we need you to get the Newcastle County Coalition signed on the local level in your state. And that simply says that we're going to opt in and follow all of the guidelines set out in the Paris Agreement. And I was excited to be a part of that. And then also at the same time, I was like, wait, how do I actually go about implementing this? So I worked with my contact, and she gave me like a talk sheet, and then I just made it my own. I did a little bit of research about my Newcastle County elected officials, and I was like, yo, everyone seems like super nice. So I just went in there, I spoke from the point of I, and I made it a friendly conversation, not like a business conversation. And right away, the Newcastle County President, Karen Hartley-Nagel, was like 100% on board. And she called in their elected council to council, their attorney, and was like, can you tailor this to our state? And right away, he was like, yes. So they worked really, really hard, because the following meeting, we introduced it, and every single member signed on yes. So I was able to get it passed, and I was super excited. That is like a huge win for our chapter. And I'm just so proud that I was able to get that done in such a short amount of time, and that our elected officials actually care about not just the residents here in my state, but the environment as well.
That is a great story. And I think what you're talking about too shows that you don't have to. I like how you said yes first, and then said, okay, so I don't actually know how to do it. And I think a lot of people go the other direction, where they go, well, no, because I don't know how to do it. So that starting with yes. And then Malika, you guys you had a couple of challenges that you did. So I think this is a message for everybody. If you have a group that you can do the challenge, you can do a 90-day challenge as a way to engage your group. And so you had a couple of them that you did as part of the challenge. So do you want to mention those as well?
Yes. So we did the Rock the Vote campaign, and we tied it in with Turnout for Tomorrow and also She Votes. The entire chapter was super excited, because we had the founder of She Votes come on and talk to us about voting. It was just such a great experience. We were ready to go. We did a lot of live videos. We did some Zoom events for voter education reach. We just had such a great experience, just educating people on the importance of voting, how they can vote, how they can register to vote. It was just such a great time, and I am so proud of my chapter. We reached out to over 800 people and just talked to them about voting, and it was such a great time. Everyone had so much fun learning about voting, where their local poll location was. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how amazing everything turned out. We also, every November, we participate in planting trees here in our state. So we help plant over 500 trees every year. And the chapter loves learning about planting trees. And I also, we partner with different local environmental nonprofits. And so we learn about the power plants and different ag throughout the year. It's such a great experience, even composting. So I'm really, really excited that we're able to partner with those different nonprofits here in our state. And now we're actually being asked to leave the state and partner with other nonprofits throughout our country. So that's awesome.
Yeah. I think the other thing that I'm seeing too is that, a lot of when people think about environmental stuff and climate change, it's such a bummer, man. And it's no wonder people don't want to participate. But what you guys are all showing is just how fun it is, how creative, how exciting it is. And, just like Malika talking about the Rock the Vote and She Votes, and how just how thrilling it is to do that. And I think the more that we can convey that, the better, the more we're going to be able to attract people. And that's what you're demonstrating for sure. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
We also,
Yeah,
sorry, Joan. We also work with our elected officials on different initiatives. So I myself have created an environmental law, which will hopefully be introduced. I'm so excited. So we have close ties like with our elected officials and a few senators and congressmen and women. So I'm really, really excited to see what 2021 has in store for our chapter and all of the amazing things we can do to help make our earth a more greener, healthier, and sustainable place to live.
Yeah, and spending the time investing in those relationships, and just as you said earlier, just seeing them as people that you can form relationships with and be partners with them for sure. Okay, all right, thank you, Malika. All right, and so because it's always good to have more than one Joan. I mean, right? Like, there's never enough Joans in the
There
world.
are never enough Joans.
So yeah, we have the Joan and Joan show now, and we're just gonna just keep going. But yeah, I was very excited because one of our challengers is Melanie Hoffman, and she's with the King Center for Data Visualization. I'm not sure if I said that right, but they do a lot of how to take all the science and the data around climate change and figure out ways to make it interactive and make it something that people can then act on. And so she's been working on Drawdown Alberta, which is Melanie's 90-day project, is to launch a drawdown project initiative for all of Alberta, Canada. And as part of that, I'm not sure who connected who first, but that's how I connected with Joan. And so she's got the Calgary Climate Hub. And so I'm just so excited to hear what all you guys are doing, and welcome, and take it away.
Thanks. Yeah, well, Melanie is awesome. Melanie and I connected through the Alberta Environmental Network, which is a group of environmental organizations in Alberta. And so we're the Calgary Climate Hub, and we started in 2017 when Dr. Joe Vipond and Steve Bentley and some other amazing Calgarians got together and with the Climate Reality Project Canada to set up a local chapter. And the reason that's really amazing is because Calgary is the oil and gas capital of Canada. And so we have some unique challenges here to talk about climate. But in 2018, they were able to successfully advocate to the City of Calgary to get the Climate Resilience Plan adopted by the City of Calgary. So now that is official policy, which is fantastic. I got involved in the fall of 2018, and two things had happened in the fall of 2018. My mother passed away after a long battle with dementia, and the IPCC released a report on global warming and 1.5 degrees. My son gave me a book on dementia prevention, and I realized that the top 5 things that we can do to prevent dementia are the same as the top 5 climate actions. And those are use your large muscles for active transportation, eat a plant-based diet, participate in community activities, and live a life of purpose and get more sleep. So, instead of lying awake worrying about climate change, now I'm involved in a community that's taking action on climate. So that's fantastic. Our biggest achievement, I would say, would be getting the Climate Resilience Plan approved in 2018. In June of this year, we successfully advocated to City Council to get the Green Line light rail transit line approved. And in October of this year, we successfully advocated to City Council to say no to 11 new developments on the outskirts of our city. And so we're really working on stopping the sprawl. We've also hosted 10 community climate conversations around the city. And so these are opportunities for people to come together and talk about climate in a comfortable space with their neighbors and their friends, and just talk about the things that are worrying them about climate. So we talk about climate grief, we talk about active transportation, cycling, urban planning, and other issues around climate. And then what we've started to do, and this is why I was so excited to participate in the Climate Action Challenge, is we've also started to have return conversations where local groups can form and take on a project within their own communities. So we've had the first one of those last month, and we're going to have another one next week. And our goal is to have 6 total this year and get 6 groups started. And our big project coming up is our municipal election in the fall of next year. So we're working on trying to figure out how to make climate a top election issue. So I'm really interested to hear Malika's stories about getting out the vote and making voting exciting and fun and focus on climate. Yeah, and the other thing that we're doing is during COVID, we started hosting a web series, and for the first few months, it was a weekly web series, and now we've gone down to once a month, and that's called The Climate of Change. And our next episode is tomorrow night, and as part of our commitment to being more inclusive and paying attention and supporting our BIPOC community, we are hosting Masquasis Voices of Idle No More, which is an Indigenous rights organization, and so he's going to be talking about his work with that. And that will be here on Facebook Live.
Nice, nice. Well, anybody that was talking, if you want to put any comments, any links to anything that you're doing in the comments, that would be awesome. We can do that. Yeah, well, thank you so much for that roundup, and it's so exciting to hear that, as you said, kind of in the midst of what you think of as oil and gas country, that you have this change happening. And as a wellness coach, and I know Malika does a lot with plant-based diet too. I love to see that connection. And yeah, maybe you get people to act for the climate by talking about dementia, or maybe you get people to help reduce dementia by acting for the climate. It really doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah, it's a nice little kind of, it just sort of demonstrates how everything is so connected.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
Okay, so let me see. So, okay, so thank you, Joan, for doing that. So I'm going to bring you guys all back on in a second. So I just wanted to remind you that the book and the workbook, the Climate Action Challenge book and workbook, are available for folks. As I'm hearing these different things that you're doing, you know, I was passionate as a young person. I wasted decades being ineffective, as has most of the world. And that's what's led us to where we are right now. But we don't have to be ineffective. We can be more effective. And there's a lot of strategies in the book that I'm hearing that you guys have figured out. Things like studying people that are already making a difference, modeling after that, coming up with a list of 100 potential partners, and then doing a community forum. So doing a day of action followed by a community forum. And that with that community forum, then you get people together and create the teams coming out of that. So if you haven't kind of checked into the book about that community forum idea, I recommend that as well. And definitely, I hope that you will register for the Climate Action Challenge Summit and let people know, let your city council know, let your colleagues know, because it's going to be a similar, very exciting, fun experience to see all the creativity around this and that incredible positive vibe that we all need right now, where people have some control in their lives. They have an idea, they take action, they see it. That's something that is not happening with our work or our schools, where we don't know what's going to be happening today. All right, so let me bring everybody back on for a quick second. Right on cue. There's always a siren coming by during this. Are you number one, Kat?
Climate change is going from 11 on the top 10 to number 1 on the top 10.
Oh, I like that. That's awesome. All right. So does anybody have any last little word that you wanted to say? Maybe we could go in the same order. Kat, was there anything else that you wanted to sign off with?
Yeah, we're experimenting with launching a climate coaching consultancy for individuals who want to take personal action.
Say that again. You said you're launching a climate consultancy coaching?
Yep, for people who want to take personal action on climate.
Nice. I think that coaching model, that's what I found from the wellness coaching. Addiction recovery. It's the addiction recovery model that, makes us laugh because it's like, oh yeah, we are kind of addicted, but there's so much we can learn from that as well. Okay. Thank you. And thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
And how about you, Darshana?
For me, as I told you, that this is our newly formed chapter. So I'm always welcome with new ideas from any of the mentors or any of the chapter chairs, and like to connect with everyone possible, with all this experience. And we are supporting that SB 125 bill for Texas, which is for HFC gas, reducing HFC gas, phasing out. But we want the ideas how to do it. Yeah. Thank you. How to do it, and so always willing to listen to other parties and get the ideas. So that's how we can progress.
That's great. Right. I mean, this just right here shows how quickly you can learn from each other if you reach out. How about you, Emmy?
Yeah, I'll just remind folks of that PSC town hall that we're doing on the 15th. We don't have an Eventbrite registration for it yet. We just kind of finalized it yesterday, but I will send that to you when we get things solidified. And we are on pretty much all social media. So find us at Atlanta Climate or Climate Reality Atlanta. And if you want to reach out and contact us further, you can reach us at contact@climaterealityatlanta.org. Thanks.
Cool. Okay, Kat, I love these little, this is so cool. That's such a great idea to have your messages. It's kind of like, I've always wanted to have these for the car, like your lights are on or get off my butt. But this is actually better, just like thumbs up. Oh my gosh, there's a business opportunity right there. Okay, so how about you, Malika?
So I wanted to add that we also organize community cleanups to get the entire state involved in ending the pollution here so we can have cleaner air and cleaner water. A way that you guys can get in touch with us, we are on every social media outlet. I have posted a few below. And then you can also email us at delawarechapter@gmail.com.
Super cool. All right, thank you. And so Joan.
Yeah, so one thing that we're excited about too is our NMAX campaign, which is our local utility, and we're trying to get it to go to net zero by 2050. So that's there's going to be some action on that. So keep an eye on our campaign page, and I posted that in the links. And come out to a community climate conversation or join in on a Climate of Change, one of our episodes. And let's get this going.
Yeah.
All hands on deck.
Yeah, I like this. And yeah, and again, I hope that, that we like this idea of sharing and getting people together and thinking about that 90-day challenge idea, that when we give people, it's just like losing weight or exercising. If you sign up to do a 10K run 2 months from now, you might actually exercise and get ready to do it. If you say, well, I want to do a 10K by the end of the year, you probably aren't going to, just statistically. And so thinking about ways to go from a team to a community and transformation, personal transformation, team transformation, community transformation, and giving some structure and accountability. And so I am seeing this challenge idea doing that, where we've been hopping on on Zoom with people from Congo and Bangladesh and Colombia, and everybody just getting so excited to understand that we really need that coaching. We need the accountability, and to not dismiss that aspect of it, that human behavioral transformation is what we're all doing. And it's so exciting to see you guys doing that with everything from caring for pollinators and forming relationships with your legislators, and as well as with trees. So it's all good. All right. So thanks everybody for joining in. And thank you, Kat, for the ingenious signs. I feel like that's going to have to be a whole separate session on how to make all those. I thought we should have one on making masks, but that's probably more realistic. All right. Well, thanks everybody. Thanks everybody that tuned in today, and hope to see you all at the Impact Summit, where there's a lot of concern about racism and systemic oppression. And when you join the summit, you're going to see people working in the slums of Kampala, teaching vertical gardening, working with the poorest of the poor with these very innovative ideas that we can all be learning from. So I hope you will support our diverse group of grassroots leaders, spread the word, and see you there. So thanks everybody. Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for being
Let's keep in touch.
Bye,
All right,
everyone.
bye.